go through a few things. There we go. Right. So let's go through first very quickly the trades um, that we've placed this morning, and then yeah, we'll go through um, yeah, our normal kind of routine. Make sure everyone's in our routine, and yeah, it'll be good. I've got a good feeling about this week. I've altered my strategy ever so slightly, just to, compare with what's obviously happening in the markets at the moment. We'll go through gold as well today. So, three trades that we took: NZD CAD, this one here. This is the 7 a.m. strategy. I'm going to go through this in a lot more detail and do a video, and I'll probably add it onto the course. Probably, I might even do one. I need to do the video at 7 a.m. So I'm probably gonna have to do it on Monday morning. So NZD CAD was one, AUD NZD was one, and NZD USD was one as well. So I've now closed out. Yeah, anyone who took this within about 5 minutes of posting should be in profit. So yeah, was very happy. It's a good start. Ben, who's in the channel, has been trialing it too. So he's been doing really well out of this one as well. So yeah, let's wait and see. And then obviously we've got Euro here, expecting a bit of a tail off here. If you look at the 4 hour, we've obviously engulfed the previous candle here. So was just waiting for this pullback. I've pulled entries a little bit closer just because of slippage. So this one here is in a bit of profit at the moment. So expecting this to roll out. This one's a lot slower, but it does mean that we're pretty much done and out the way nice and early. So now we've gone through that. Let's have a look at our overall kind of outlook, our routine. So we already should have had a little look into the news, what's been happening, where, why, and how. You then want to have a quick glance at the economic calendar. We've obviously had some good pound data. We have Williams speaking. That's not really going to do much. We've got some CAD data later on. CAD's been in the top three strength there today. So let's wait and see how that one pans out, as they say. There seems to be something I'd say a lot, actually. I've realized that. I'm trying to work on my eloquency because I do lots of ums, ahs. Obviously is a really bad word for me as well. I always say obviously for some reason, but everyone's got them. So this was how it was all laid out. I'm expecting this rewind. All right. So we've gone through the news. We know that the only news we've got to be aware of is going to be CAD. All right, 130. So we're pretty much got free reign to trade during London from now onwards. Then we want to look at our overall risk here. What's happening between stock market yields, the dollar, and gold? All right. It's a strange scenario, this, all right, because we got the stock market. I would class anything above or below 0.2%. I'd class that around break even. So stock market's around break even. Yields are up almost 0.5%. Dollar, I'd class that around break even. Gold is also up. So it's a bit of a strange one because there's yeah there's just money flooding in from everywhere. However, if you identify yen is down on everything, the other, I think it was, when was it, maybe Tuesday, yen was up on everything and then everything down the stock market, so potentially money flooding out of yen, which is quite interesting here. So let's wait and see how the day pans out. Still the same. Aussie CAD's risen against USD, so it's slight difference. Let's just change this round so it's accurate. This is our strength of currencies, which would be number two. So we've got pound above euro now. Where am I taking this from here? I always use yen just because it's very, very easy, very, very quick. And yeah, it's just the quickest way, to do it. So our three trades before 7 a.m. were the top three pairs against the bottom pair here. All right, so we just played everything against that, and obviously worked out very, very, nicely. So what we want to I really be looking for is these top three pairs here against these bottom three pairs here. All right, you want to ignore these middle two, top versus bottom. So potentially AUD JPY. CAD JPY, USD JPY, NZD USD, so let's have a look at yen. All right, AUD JPY. What's been happening? 4 hour, little bit, mixed here. We've made a high and a low. Let's just have a look. Daily, it's been hammered. But obviously, still, if you look on a daily time frame, still in an uptrend, right? Where could we be coming back to potentially? There is a bit of support here. We've got obviously 99 here, which is a key level for AUD JPY. All right. Yes. Well, once we start to get on the lower time frame, it looks like it's trending. I actually think what might happen with AUD JPY, I could be wrong, is let's just draw a box around this. I think this area might get tested here. And then we could potentially look to buy from here. Um, how many pips is that? It's quite crazy, 200 pips. Let's have a look at this on an hourly. I reckon we could probably push it back down to here, about 120. So something like this. If we get any kind of probably a tail off into this area, we got London Open, which is, so if we go on to the 30-minute time frame, London Open's been very, very slow. Let's have a look at the volume here as well. During Asia, where was the majority of volume? Asia slow here as well. Yeah, I I would say where our entry is pretty good. We're obviously currently breaking out of Asian highs. Um, so let's also have a look at the previous day. I think it got hammered. So we'll just use this, I think. So mark up previous today. And you want to be what I'm going to be doing from now on is going through everything in a lot more detail, so that you guys, I won't pre-break anything down now during, lives. Sorry, before lives, we're going to do it all, here. So you guys kind of understand what is happening here. All right. So what we want to see, here we're kind of in a bit of, no man's land. We've got a bit of support here, as you can see. All right. We need to be aware of, sorry, resistance. Need to be aware of that. You could even mark up here and put a reminder to say be aware of previous resistance. Yeah. Resistance. So we kind of understand here, this is what everyone should be doing, new high, so new higher high on 30 minutes. Yeah, so that will indicate to you that there's a potential change of trend here, so what could happen, or what we want to happen, is for this to go down here and this to pump up here. All right, because that would go with everything then. If you look at all our confluences here, you could put, as your confluences, right? We've got rejected key level 99, yeah, 0.000 if everyone wants to be precise. You could say made a new 30-minute higher high. Yeah. All right. Number two, so we want to see how it's acting, on a level of support here, daily. uptrend. Yeah, you want to always talk yourself into why you're going to enter a particular trade above 50 EMA. Yeah, let's have a look on the 4 hour. 4 hour, we've had one, two, three, four, five, six rejections. All right, so six times rejections of support on 4 hour. You want to be going through this every single trade, all right? So then you understand what you're waiting for. We know that if this comes back and retests this, then it's going to be a heavy layer of support here. Yeah. So that's obviously what we need to be aware of. We could even say, was in a downtrend, made it equal low on the, 1 hour. You can go on and on. Equal low on 1 hour. Yen is weak and AUD is strong. Yeah. All right, so you can see here one, two, three, four, five, six, seven reasons why, if this pulls back into this area, we're gonna take this trade. Let me post this in the group for everyone, so But this is what you need to be doing every single trade. Yeah, we'll do one more as well, so everybody understands here. Right, let's do a AUDJPY trade opportunity. Yeah. All right. So we've got to wait. We've got to be patient. We've got to let this come into here. Right. Next one. Let's do one more and then we'll do gold. Let's just go straight to gold because we obviously need to. So what do we need to do on gold? We want to mark our previous high, previous daily high, previous daily low here. All right. We want to look at the overall the daily trend. It's a bit messy. All right. We're technically still in an uptrend, so we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of that gold is a bit of a powerhouse today. So point 0.8, 8 hour, let's mark up our, volume so we know about Asia. Currently testing that Asian high here. 4 hour, we're in a massive area of consolidation here. All right. So what I would do is, mark this and then put an arrow on it. All right. So put 4 hour. Oh, why did I do that? 4 hour consolidation. Yes. All right. So you understand what is happening here. We're struggling. All right. Struggling to break through hourly. We've got a little bit of an uptrend here, but it's a little bit messy, right? This is what's the trouble with gold, right now. We've obviously got a nice channel here, all right? But then we broke out of it testing, but then we're coming back in. And then you can also argue we've got another channel here, driving up, into this area. Where's my it is there. 15 minutes. There we go. Right. So we've also got, which I would definitely mark up. I always recommend to. We've got this Asian high here. All right. So leave that as is. If you wanted to write on it, you can. Asian high. Always have it marked up and always have your Asian low marked up. They will come into play somewhere along the day. Asian low. Yeah. All right. So right now, what is happening with gold? We've obviously got this trend. All right. Been trending nicely since, well, 5:15 yesterday. We've made this new high. What could be currently happening? 5 minute here, right? We've made it equal high here. All right. So we want to see what's happening. What is going to happen. We've tested it. All right, so we tested it, drove down. We've come up potentially to collect a few more orders, So I would have liked to have seen a bit more of a cleaner break. Um, so yeah, I'd be monitoring this. I do think there is an opportunity for a trade to come into this downside here, not taking the biscuit too much. Potentially this area here that's marked in a different color, so it's not complicated. Blue, there we go. Potentially into this area here. Would still be a 190 pip trade. Plenty of space because, it can spike. But yeah, that, might be something that we'd be looking to, enter here. Let me just go through the chat a little bit. Um, Ahachi need to get up earlier for all these profits. Paul, morning, Dan. Great calls this morning. Adrian, morning. So morning, 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 everyone. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. Today is a prime example of, I haven't had my best trading week. Took a loss yesterday, but obviously, you've then got to reevaluate everything, reevaluate how markets are, moving. You asked me yesterday what's my, favorite trading strategy. Is more favorite market condition when markets are trending, we are happy, right? Because it's easy. I personally like when the dollar is strong. It's very, very easy to trade because you're just trading the pullbacks all the time. So yeah, that's what I like. But yeah, let's wait and see. I reckon we got time to do one more. Let's just do one more here. So we've got here, let's go back onto the 4 hour. Let's do USD JPY. Let's have a look at this. How's this doing at the moment? Okay, so it's a little bit messy. All right, let's USD JPY, CAD JPY. Okay, let's do CAD. Right, so we're going to delete everything. Everything's gone. Right, what do? We're going to mark the previous daily high and the previous daily low. This is a good routine to get into. We'll obviously mark the volume profile, have a look to see what's been happening. So daily here, what are we doing? We're trending to the upside here. We know that money is flooding from, somewhere, potentially from yen, because it's down on everything apart from NZD. All right, and so all that money that flew into it is now flying out of it. Just gonna have a swig of coffee. Went down the wrong hole. Right. Excuse me. So now let's now have a look at what is happening here. So daily still in still in an uptrend. We do have a key level here at 500. So 500 would be a known key level, but it looks like potentially 400 here has been acting very, very well. So we've obviously reacted. 8 hour technically classed as a downtrend. That means 4 hours going to be a downtrend too. I would class it. This is, well, yeah, it's a, lower, low here. So what we want to see potentially is an equal low. Are we going to see that? I'm not particularly sure. We've got consolidation here on the 1 hour. All right. So again, you can mark that up. That's no problem. So what would I be waiting for here? I'd potentially then be going down to a 30 minute. We're obviously testing the Asian high here. So let's wait and see. 4 hour broke and didn't break up above. So yes, we could class this as our area potentially. So if we expanded our area here, so this would be our potential entry zone area here. So I think anywhere here, I'm gonna continue with yen weakness. I think that weakness is going to be coming from somewhere. So I'd be looking at something like this 2.2 trade. I'd want to see what happens here, right, for us to then capitalize on this move here. So let me put this one in as well, and then I'll look at everyone's questions, and then that's probably all we've got time for this morning. Right, let me just put this one in as well. And I tell you what, I'll put gold in. Uh, CAD JPY trade opportunity. And let me do gold as well. So everybody understands 5 minute time frame. It's moving already. Moving already, guys. We'll do this one as well. So, whoop. So we've got XAUUSD trade opportunity. There we go. Right. So there we go. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, so that's obviously what we are going to be looking at. Right, let's go through some questions here. Great breakdown, Dan. Getting to understand your process and hopefully turn my trading around 100%. You've just got to stick to that routine. Morning, boss. Will some of the trades be going into the copier too? Not today. So there's going to be no trades on the copier because we want to, we're obviously going to continue this transparency phase, and we're going to make sure that the trades on the copier, we're going to swap over to a Vantage copier, so obviously everyone will be able to, see it. Chris, loving the more detail. Good. Adrian, marking up volume, are you doing that from Asia open to Asia close? Yes. And so if you go on the 8 hour, right? If you go on the 8 hour, and all you do, very, very easy, very, very quick, is you just obviously get your volume profile tool and do volume from here and slide it over to here, and it'll mark up Asia. Same when you want to mark up London, you drag it from London, it's just after 2 p.m. Drag it on London over to US, and it will give you the average volume of the London session. All it is really is 70% of orders were placed here. All right, really doesn't mean much else. I don't really look at this here. I'm only really one. It really, really helps me because I'll be able to keep an eye on Asian high and Asian low, and two, just obviously gives me that idea because price might come down and it's going to struggle to get through here. But actually, if you look on a lower time frame, you can see why majority of the orders have, because there's a lot of confusion there. But I'm going to have to scoot. So really, really appreciate obviously everyone's time. And yeah, this is obviously how we're going to be doing the breakdowns moving forward. And yeah, next trades will be sent in around 10 a.m. So be aware for that. Have a good one, everyone. Let me just do a video. So lots of thumbs up, please. Love it. Perfect. Um, right. Yeah. I hope everyone has a great day today. And yeah, let's make sure that we smash it. Have a good one, guys.